friends, it's Sadie and Tegan. Welcome back to another episode of our Golden 20s podcast. We are kicking off, or not even kicking off, continuing, I guess, with another holiday-themed episode today. And if you're watching this on video, I have my Christmas tree in frame for such occasion, which I am so excited about. Just set it up, I guess, a few days ago, and I'm now full on Christmas mode. So it's like, let's just bring the vibes to the podcast today because we are sharing our annual holiday gift guide. Both Tegan and I are big gift givers. I think both of our love languages is gift giving. So we get so excited to do this episode. And like I said, we've done it for the past 2 years. So we are keeping the tradition alive with today's episode.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm not in the holiday spirit yet. I feel like I've been just so busy. And so it's very weird for me to be like this late in November and not like festive at all, not watching Christmas movies. But I'm hoping this week to like flip the switch. And I also have bought no gifts, which is very unlike me. I'm normally like have everything done by the end of November. So this will be good.
You still have time. Yeah, maybe when the calendar flips to December 1st, and if we get snow, like we haven't had any snow really in Toronto. We had a few like flakes on Friday, which is when I guess last Friday when you're listening to this, but that was the day I set up my Christmas tree because as soon as I saw snow, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I'm feeling it. It's Christmas. So I think that's what you need, Tag, to get you in the Christmas mood. But I think today's episode will definitely help push you in the right direction as well.
Yeah. See, we didn't get snow when that was happening. I was on a work call and everyone was like, it's snowing here. And I was like, nope,
probably
not here.
You're right on the lake. So I feel like it takes like more to get it to actually snow there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something my dad would say. And I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know the reason behind that, but it makes sense to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's
all
funny.
right. Yeah, I feel like we can dive into some of this stuff. Hopefully we'll share some good ideas. We also have like some links in our bio for places we love to shop that give a discount. We also have like an Amazon storefront where things that we love is up there. Maybe we'll throw some of these on like a separate list for gift ideas. Yeah. But yeah, if you're like looking for ideas, not quite sure, definitely check that out as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to create little storefronts for all of these that we'll be sharing today. So definitely check us out on Amazon. And how we're doing this year is our gifts are focused on different price buckets. And that's just, we know that this is a very expensive time of year, especially for people in their 20s who don't have a lot of disposable income. It can be quite stressful. And now also add on the just really high cost of living these days. I think it makes it even more stressful. So really what we want to get through in this episode is that just because you don't have a big budget doesn't mean your gift doesn't have a big impact. I think there's lots of really great things you can still gift that are, wanted gifts and not just kind of like dorky little nothings, even if you don't have a big budget. And I also wanted to say too, like it's like knowing it's such an expensive time of year for everybody and just an expensive year in general. It's also okay to like pool money together, with other people. That's something me and my sisters do for Christmas is like we all go in on gifts from my parents. Their boyfriends have started like contributing. So high or the highest we're going to go today is gifts $100 and under. But if $100 feels out of range for you, maybe it's like, hey, maybe you and your sibling can go in on this together for whoever you're gifting it to, or even you and a friend gifting to another friend, get creative with it. But hopefully, like Tegan said, this just gives you guys some great ideas for a starting place.
Yeah, definitely. I think before we get into the categories of, budget ranges, do we want to just talk sort of generally about our like gift giving tips, tricks, philosophies, anything like that? Because as you said, we're both very passionate about gift giving. So I feel like we both probably have lots of ideas.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first thing that came to mind for me, of course, me being me, I turned it into a little nerdy saying here, but I'm like, let's make the gift either practical, personal, or some sort of little luxury. And what I mean by that is, again, going back to what I was just saying, where if you're not sure what to get somebody, I think we just kind of turn to gift guides and buy something where we're like, that might work. That might sound good, but you're not really thinking about the person you're giving it to anymore. You're more just like stressed about having to buy a gift. So I think, think back to conversations you've had with this person, or just even think of this person, their personality, their brand, if you will, and see if there's a way to turn these ideas that we have to be personal to the person you're giving it to, or think back to like a practical reason, something that you find makes your life easier, therefore you want to gift it to somebody else to make their life easier. Or maybe it's something, they're working on. Like, for instance, say, I know Tegan wants to start cooking more. Like, I know this is something she's working on, so I might make my gift practical to help her get to that, if that makes sense. And then the little luxuries tag, I'll let you speak to that, because I think you were the one who kind of introduced me to this whole idea. So I'll stop talking and not kill the moment.
Yeah. No, I love the idea of like splurging on someone, especially if it's like something that they'll enjoy, but they would never realistically buy, whether it's like a really fancy candle or like a face mask, or I don't know, even like if they love cooking and like they're never going to buy themselves a really fancy spatula, because it's like, that's lame. They're practical. They're not going to want to buy it. But it's like, this is the chance to do it. Some of my favorite gifts have been like unexpected luxuries. Like one year, my mom bought me UGG slippers, and it was like something I would never ask for because that's obviously a pricey gift. But it's like, everyone loves nice slippers. It's a win easily. And so
yeah,
I love that idea. I also find that sometimes if you're stuck with figuring out what to buy for someone, or especially like my husband's the type of person, if he wants something, he will just buy it without even
that's
thinking.
me.
Yeah. And so he's very much like, I know I'm hard to shop for, but that's just me. And so sometimes I like to do sort of like themes. So I know like for one of your birthdays, Sadie, I did like a night home gift box, and it had like a cup for tea and like a face mask and that kind of thing. What I've done for my husband before has been like a gift based on senses. So it's like something for him to look at. It was a book, something to smell, and it was a candle, something to taste, his favorite candy. And then put it all in a box, and it was, themed that way. And, sometimes giving yourself that sort of guide can help, especially if you're like, well, this person has everything they could need. Sometimes you can come up with some good ideas, even if it's like movie night at home, everything they would need. If they're going on a trip, it's like, here's everything they would need to travel, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's what turns a gift into being a good gift. Like it's one thing to give someone a face mask, but it's another to give them a face mask with like their favorite book, or a book from their TBR, or it's one thing to give them their favorite snack, but another if you bundle it with something else. So I totally love a theme as well. And I like to bundle like 2 or 3 items together, even maybe more, to create kind of like a basket or box, like you were saying, Tag, depending how big your budget is and what these things are that you're bundling together. But I always do that. Even looking at my family, we do create kind of like wish lists and share it with each other for Christmas. But even looking at my sister's Christmas list, say, I like to pick out 2 things from the list that go nicely together. And then I'm like, just brings me joy for it to be a theme. Even if the person receiving it doesn't catch on to the theme, it's just, I don't know, separates the gifts from the good gifts, in my very biased opinion.
I also think if you're trying to think of like luxuries or ways to splurge on a person, that you have to like read the person well. Like, because certain things that are luxury, others might not even know. If they're not a candle person and you buy them $100 candle, they're not going to know. They're going to be like, oh, great, Bath and Body Works candle. They spent $12, love it. Or like I obviously know like very expensive shampoos, but then there are people in my life who, if I were to buy them fancy shampoo, they'd be like, well, what the hell? This is the lamest gift ever. And
Right.
so it's also like, you just have to know the person, and like the price doesn't determine how good the gift is or how well it's going to go over. Just because
Yeah.
you know like the hand lotion you bought them is $80 doesn't mean anything to them. So
Yeah.
you also have to like read the room and know like if this is a makeup person, they're going to know how much you spent on like that makeup item or that makeup kit. If it's someone who never wears makeup and you spend $150 at Sephora, they're probably going to assume the gift costs $25. So there's also that element too. You can't just like throw money around, and that makes it a good gift.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a really great point. I think I resonate with what you were saying about your husband, where it's like, I just buy whatever I need. And we know
Yeah.
I'm shopping all the time for myself. So come Christmas time, it's like, what do I need? Because I really just buy everything in the moment.
Mm.
So something that I want to also just shed the shame around is gifting gift cards and money. And why I say that is because if you're shopping for someone that's really hard to shop for, or someone who has everything, but you know where they shop, I think even if you don't actually, and it's just cash, I think that is probably more appreciated by a person who has everything or shops
Mm-hmm.
for themselves than some sort of little useless gift that they're never going to use, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I think that's also another way to be really practical with your gift is like rather than just making something up, just give them money to find what they actually want. Or if you know where they shop, like give them a gift card for that.
Yeah. I also find even if you're doing stuff like that, you could be like tying it into other things to make it more elevated. Like for
Yeah.
one of my husband's birthdays, I was like, I got him like a Nordstrom's gift card, but then I also made him an appointment with a personal stylist, which
I
is like a
love
free
that.
service that
Yeah.
Nordstrom offers. And then it's like, it's still feeling like a thoughtful gift while still being like, listen, I don't know what you need because you just buy it all. So here's a gift card. And that sort of thing. And you can tailor it like, you know, you could get Ticketmaster gift cards or like a gift card to their favorite restaurant or do a bundle of like a movie theater gift card with a dinner gift card. And it's like, here
Mm-hmm.
you go for a night out, whatever it is. It doesn't just have to be like a random gift card as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I've heard of people like say you're gifting like a cousin or an aunt who has like kids or even a friend who has
Yeah.
kids. Maybe it's like you gift them the gift card for movies, dinner, but then you're
Mm-hmm.
also offering to like babysit for the night that they go out for their date night. You know, like
Yeah,
little things like that. I definitely think you can get creative with. And it falls back to that whole idea of like bundling things together to make it more
exactly.
personalized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I also wanted to call out just like, again, going back to how expensive this time of year is. Obviously, this is like peak sales time for retail right now. So we're just coming out of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then usually, at least here in Canada, right after Christmas is like Boxing Week. But really, between those two big moments, there's so many other sales happening leading up to Christmas. So I think if you know what you're wanting to get as a gift for your friends or family, just keep an eye out for sales and try to get things on sale, even if it's not buying the actual gift on sale, but it's maybe you're shopping on a day where you get like 3 times the points or something. Like I'm thinking at
Mm-hmm.
like Indigo, which is kind of like our Barnes and Nobles here in Canada. It's like, I don't know, just make the gift getting work for you, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And another way to do that is using something like Rakuten or any type of loyalty or cashback program to help get additional perks on top of sales that, or not sales, sorry, purchases that you're making anyway.
Yeah, I purchase everything on my credit card.
Yeah,
Like I can do that because I'm the kind of person who knows like I pay it off monthly and that kind of thing. I understand that
right.
there are some people who like can't do that, but
It'll just
luckily,
snowball. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Luckily, I can't. So literally everything I put on my credit card, because it's like my credit card has cash back and it has points. And I'm like, if I'm spending the money anyways, I might as well be
Yeah.
making it work for me. I also use like the Honey thing on my
Right.
computer,
Yeah.
whatever that's called, like the extension, I guess,
Yeah.
which runs coupons for you, which I love. And it's just like little things that save money, because when you're putting in like multiple shopping orders or multiple purchases, it does add up. So like little savings here and there, collecting points here and there is always a good idea.
Yeah, I just looked at my PayPal from the whole year where my
Hmm.
Rakuten cashback goes, and I had like over $100 from this year to
Yeah.
just like sitting in my PayPal account. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. So cashed that out, and I was like, wow, I'm all of a sudden $100 richer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's little bits, like only a couple dollars here and there, but it really does add up over time.
Yeah. And something we mentioned, I think in last week's episode, was to maybe like redeem your points at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like our Indigo has points. I always redeem those on a Christmas order. Honey, the way you can get cash back is through gift cards. So I will always get gift cards for places that I'm buying from and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. All the tips
Yeah.
for how to think about gifts, but now we will give you some tips on what to actually get and gift, starting with gifts $25 and under.
Yeah. I feel like these are kind of like stocking stufferings. We don't really do that in my family, so I'll usually just like gift these individually, but they're really nice, sort of like things you see at the checkout or on your way out. They're also really good like Secret Santa gifts or
Mm-hmm.
gifts for people that like, I don't know, you're not really splurging on whatever it is, or gifts if you have a really tight budget this year. So, a couple of things that came to mind for me. This is something I've brought up multiple times and is so lame, but I'm still going to say it, is an extra long iPhone cord or like phone charger. My husband and I both have 10-foot long chargers, and it is like the best. It's so stupid. And I feel like it's the kind of thing that not a lot of people buy for themselves because it seems so lame on paper. But like to be able to lay in bed while your phone is charging, and I can like roll over. I have my like makeup desk in my bedroom, so I can have my phone charging and my cord's long enough that if I'm watching
Yeah,
YouTube, it's
that's
still
good.
charging. Like it's just a game changer. And so I buy these for people all the time. Love them. I also, something I bought my husband last year was an AirPod cleaning kit, which he really likes now. And so
Hmm.
something again random. These are both like useful gifts, but I also
Yeah.
love the idea of getting something that makes someone's life easier, but they didn't even realize they needed it.
Yeah.
So definitely love those. I'm also a fan of really nice socks. I feel like this is
Yeah.
as you get older, but I love some good socks. And so I will often be buying people like nice socks, nice underwear, especially for men. I don't know what their deal is, but they will just wear underwear until they die. And so it's
Yeah.
like splurging on like the Lululemon underwear. I wear them for hockey and they're like the comfiest underwear in the world. And, you know, or Calvin Klein or Saks, any of those like luxury brands are
Yeah.
also really nice. And it's, you know, again, something that probably a person's not going to buy themselves $50 underwear, but you can do it and it makes their like daily life better.
Yeah, I love that. I think the socks is such a good example of a little luxury where it's like probably everyone's wearing the same like pack of Puma socks from Costco because they
Yeah.
were cheap. I'm wearing them right now, if you know the ones you know, but you know, it's nice just to give them like a little elevated moment. I love that so much. I
Yeah.
think what came to mind for me for gifts 25 and under were a lot of book related things. And this is because I think there is nothing more magical than a toy store or a bookstore at Christmas. Like, I don't really have that many kids in my life, but I'm like, I just want to go to a toy store at Christmas because it's so magical. But I've realized a bookstore gives me that same kind of magic.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's part of the reason why. But also, I think these are really great, like books actually make really great gifts. So first, when it comes to actual books, I think gifting, like to make it personalized, maybe look at their Goodreads, see if they have like a list of books they want to read, maybe pick one of those and gift it to them. Or if you're not sure like what they want to read, then even just picking up a book from like the bestseller table or Reese's book club. Yeah, Reese's
Yeah.
book club book table. I don't know. I want to say the word book too many times in there. But anyways, I think there's just, you just walk into a bookstore and there's so many ideas. So I would start there. Also, paperback books aren't that expensive. Like, I guess they can be, but they really are typically $25 and under. I think another fun idea, and if you have a little bit more budget, maybe you bundle these things together, but as a book stamp. This was like a really big thing. I want to say maybe even like a year or two ago, but I really still like it. And I think just like actual hardcover books or like physical books are having such a comeback right now, where I think it's just such a fun idea to have like a personalized book stamp to gift to all of the readers in your life. And then the kind of last actual book I have in mind is a travel book for your travel friends if they're either have a trip coming up or if you know that there's just a destination that's been on their bucket list forever, get them like a little travel book for that place. I think that could be a really fun but also personal gift as well.
Yeah, I also really love if you know that someone has either like travel or an event coming up, buying like little things that make those easier. I'm a big fan of like travel wallets, I think they're called, and they have like slots for your passport, slots for your tickets. So now anyone I know who's having a trip coming up, I will buy them a travel wallet because again, it seems a bit silly to buy like a separate wallet for traveling, but as someone who's used it, it's
practical.
amazing.
Yeah.
So definitely things like that, like luggage tags, even buying like air tags for people. They might be above $25. That might be pushing us into the 50 and under range.
Yeah.
But like so good, so useful. Again, something someone might not buy for themselves. And then the same if you know someone who just got like a promotion, buy them like a cute little mug for their desk. Or if you know someone who's getting married, buy them like pajamas that say like Mrs., kind of theming things around life events can be really easy and can make smaller and cheaper gifts feel more thoughtful instead of just like, I bought you this random trinket I saw at the bookstore checkout line.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of in the book space, but shifting a little bit out of like reading is guided journals. I think these are often in the $25 range. And this is things like the 5-minute journal. I'm a big fan of the 52 list project. There's like a whole bunch of different ones of that now. And I just think it's a other just, I don't know, fun gift. And it's different than gifting a blank notebook. You know what I mean? Like it feels a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, just a little different than a notebook for them to journal in, but could be a good idea. And again, typically in that price range we're talking about. I also think connection cards could be a good thing. This is kind of in the same headspace of the whole journal idea, but connection cards have really blown up. And I feel there's so many different companies and also so many different like price ranges on this. And probably actually a lot of the things that we're talking about, you can buy inexpensive ones for 25 and under, or there's more expensive ones. But I think connection cards are usually kind of in that checkout queue area of a store, like you were saying, Tay. And I don't know, I think it's just a fun little something that somebody wouldn't buy for themselves.
Yeah, totally. I also did want to give a shout out to homemade gifts in this category. Like the year my husband and I had our first Christmas, he did not have a lot of money because we were in school, and he DIY'd all our gifts. So he like, I hope he's not embarrassed that I'm going to say this, but he made like a book of poetry he wrote me and had it all like put together. And he made me like coupon codes of like, I'll clean your dorm room one day and I'll give you a massage and like all this stuff, and but package them all nicely in this box he had gotten. And so like both of those gifts were probably in the price range of like $5-ish, but
Mhm.
the obviously time and thought makes them like invaluable, especially now that we're
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
So I did want to give like a little shout out to that too. If you're listening and you're like, I still feel like some of this is out of my price range, there's that
Totally.
element of it too.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to DIY is just like a tin of baked goods. Like,
Yeah.
again, this can be kind of pricey, I guess, like if you have to buy all of your baking supplies, but think of how many people you can gift out of making like one batch of cookies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And again, going with the idea of like bundling things together, I think it could be really cute to add like a tea or a coffee or hot chocolate or something with the tin of baked goods. It's like that's really all you have to buy is the tin and the tea and coffee and then your ingredients, but you can just get so much out of that, and it is actually very like cost effective and efficient as well.
Yeah, I remember we did the one like white elephant Secret Santa, and you had brought just like nice coffee, and people
Hmm.
were fighting over it.
Yeah, it
Like
was
it
like
was a
a
hot ticket item. Yeah.
Toronto roaster. Like, it's just
Yeah.
little things where it's like it's coffee, but it's like a special coffee. I don't know. It
Yeah.
was the holiday blend, I think. I think it
Yeah.
was. I might have kept that one for myself. I don't even remember. But yeah, it's just little things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the last few things before we move on to gifts 50 and under, I think you can get some beauty gift sets at like the Body Shop or Sephora for $25 and under. Even if it's not actual product, maybe it's like a brush set or I don't
Mhm.
know. I think you can also get a lot of like minis and I don't know, just little gift sets in the beauty space. You actually can get quite a bit for $25 and under, especially at the Body Shop. They have really cute things, and all of their things are packaged so nicely as well during the holidays. So definitely recommend checking that out. And then also in the beauty space, an ice roller, a face roller of any sort, like there's the jade ones, rose quartz, or a gua sha. These things,
Mhm.
again, can be expensive, but for us here in Canada, like I see these at Winners all the time and they're like $15.99, maybe not even. So I think you can get expensive ones, or if you don't have the budget for that, check out. I'm trying to think. I guess TJ Maxx is the equivalent
Yeah.
to Winners in the States. So go there and look at their beauty department for some of these kind of it girl type beauty supplies. And then the last thing I have in this category, not beauty related, but if you know someone who's like into crystals and things, crystals are actually quite inexpensive, or at least they can be. So I think getting somebody like a intro to crystals set could be really fun, even if it's like a mystery bag of crystals. Like I find I've seen that quite a bit. And again, if you have more budget, it could be cute to bundle this with like a book about the crystals. But if not, I think just like a cute little set of crystals would also do the trick, or picking out crystals you think like represent the person you're gifting it to could be a way to make it more personalized to them as well. Yeah.
Great. I think we can move into the $50 and under. And some of the things that I had, I was like, maybe in the US, these would be in the 25 and under category. So if you're listening and thinking that some of our prices are wrong, things are more expensive in Canada. So that's what's going on there. But the first thing that came to mind for me, which usually every year, myself and every member of my family will buy at least one vinyl for someone.
Mhm.
We're a big vinyl family, but I also have a lot of friends who have, like a record player and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Even people who just like have records as like art displayed on their wall, that kind of thing. And now that it's so popular, it's really easy, especially because everyone, loves multiple bands. It's quite simple to, find a cool record for lots of people. That's usually something that like my dad gets at least a record every Christmas. And so that's really easy, especially for men. I feel like men are a lot harder to shop for. So throwing out records, because I know there are a lot of male record spinners out there. I also love the idea of like a nice cup. I'm just going through the list of things I buy my husband, but he loves, like Yeti cups, and there are so many different varieties. So you can get
Yeah.
like the water bottles, the coffee cups, the wine cups, all that kind of stuff. And same with like Stanley's, whatever brand they like. These are kind of expensive too, so it's nice
Yeah.
to, splurge. Same with fancy candles. I'm a big fan of the boy smell candles, but I also feel like at this time of year you can get a lot of like locally made candles at different markets and that kind of thing, which can be nice. Same with the idea of getting someone merch, and this could be from their favorite show, from their favorite movie, band, YouTuber, whatever it is. Here in Canada, again, it can be expensive with shipping and everything. And it can just be nice, especially when it's kind of like elevated. I know Abercrombie has like a whole Formula One collection and that kind of thing, which can be really nice. Again, throwing out air tags. I think they're more than $25 in Canada. So I'm just mentioning them here again in case I mess that up. And again, you could go fancier with like the underwear and the socks. If they play a sport, like you can find sporting specific, like I have fancy hockey socks and that kind of thing, and it can be expensive. So those are
Yeah.
my kind of ideas I had for the $50 category.
Love it. My things are all quite different. I was going to say I have some like home stuff, but I actually have home stuff, a little bit of travel again. So let me start with the home stuff though. I think I already mentioned a cookbook at the beginning of this episode, but I really love giving and receiving cookbooks. And I think what's so fun is that there's so many different types of cookbooks now. Like, of course, there's ones with just like, dinner recipes, breakfast, lunch, whatever. But there's also like really cute ones I've seen at Anthro for like hosting and appetizers, what cheese to pair with wine, and, just little fun things that are like cookbooks. I guess they're just more like recipes since they don't always require cooking. Another example of that would be like a cocktail book or something like that. So I think there's so many ways you can go with this, but again, it's practical, could be personal if the person you're giving it to loves hosting, like here's a hosting book, or loves making cocktails. Like, I don't know. I think that could be a good idea. I'm also a big fan of the Half Baked Harvest cookbooks if you are looking for like an actual recipe, like dinner type cookbook. Outside of the actual cookbook, I think I had on here a wine or coupe glass set. I think these can really range in price. So if it's like a set of 4 versus a set of 2, like that can also differ on the prices. But I remember when I worked at Anthro, we had the prettiest wine glasses where I was like, these are just so stunning and special, where again, I don't think people would buy this for themselves because they're like $25 a glass. But if you're getting 2 of them as a gift, I think, I don't know, it just makes it feel a little bit more special. I think outside of the home stuff, kind of going, I guess, into the travel, we talked all about the travel passports and stuff, but another thing to really level up their travel experience is gifting packing cubes. This is something Tegan and I have talked so much about in our travel specific episodes. We both swear by them, but my packing cubes were actually a gift from my sister who travels a lot, and they are a total game changer. So I think this makes a really great gift, as well as a satin or silk pillowcase. So this is something where I think we've heard the benefits of this for like years, especially us skincare girlies or hair care girlies. But again, this is just something that can be kind of expensive. I think the actual, is it Slip from Sephora, like that brand? Those are more in the like $100 range, but I saw some that are just satin and they're more around like the $30 to $50 range. So definitely take a look for that. And then under some more like personalized ideas, I thought of personalized calendars or photo books. I know every Christmas for the past 2 years is what I was going to say, which doesn't make much sense. But my oldest sister, she went on a trip to Africa, and then she had another trip, I think oh no, the first year it was just like family photos, but she used those photos to create calendars for my parents and my grandparents. And I thought that was just such a great idea. Or it could be a photo book as well. Like when the year Tegan got married, she made photo books for all of like her bridesmaids and family, which I have mine and I absolutely love them. So I think that's a great idea. And even if it's not around a life moment, just like kind of summing up the year, say for your best friend out of like photos that you guys took together, or I don't know, I could probably go through my camera roll and like create a book for Tegan just for the past year. Concerts we went to, all of the things. So that could be a cute idea. And then the last kind of personalized idea I had was a personalized art print. And these are actually fairly inexpensive. You can request it like on Etsy. If it's what I'm kind of thinking here is like a faceless portrait. I don't know if you guys can picture that, but my friend actually was doing that a few years ago, and I got one of me and my cousin, and then she made one for my sister and her boyfriend. But I absolutely love it. Like, I think it's just such cute, quirky, but also very personalized art to have in your home. And you can make it of anybody. If it's you and your partner, you and your friend, or even it could be like a sketch of the person you're giving it to, like their pet or something. I think these are just like super cute gifts. And also, like I was saying, they're fairly inexpensive on Etsy because it's just like a digital, like somebody creates it and then it is sent to you as a digital download. So all you really need to pay for is the actual Etsy print, but then printing it, maybe putting it in a frame. All of this could add up to different prices, which is why I put it under the $50 range, but just something to think about as well. And then the last few ideas I had, I'll go into fitness, which ankle and wrist weights. This also can really vary in price, but I think this can be just like, I don't know, for me, I received them as a gift and I really like them. And it's something like, even if I'm not on my fitness journey right now, just to like put wrist weights on while I'm like doing yoga or something, even cleaning around the house, like, I don't know, just little things like that. I wouldn't have even thought of if I didn't receive it as a gift. And then a pickleball set. I had to throw this on here just because pickleball's so hot this year. I was looking on Amazon. You can get like super cute sets and also really ranges in price. But the one I'll link in our Amazon storefront was under $50. And it was a set of like 4 paddles and maybe 2 balls. And then they were super cute looking. So I think that could be really fun. And then the last idea I have is magazine subscriptions. And again, this really ranges in price, but this is something I actually think we do a lot more than I realized in my family, but this can also be quite personalized based on who you're gifting it to. So for my dad, in the past, we've gotten him like hunting and fishing magazines. For my mom, we get her House and Home magazine subscription. And then for me, I love my Cosmo subscription. I also have like Style at Home magazine subscription. So there's just like a magazine for any type of interest out there. So it could be a really kind of fun, personalized idea for somebody. And again, something they might not think of for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I have received magazine subscriptions before in the past and loved them. And it's like something that's year round.
It's like,
which is nice.
I was going to say, it's like a reoccurring gift.
Yeah. And depending on the time of year you buy them, you can get some of them for very cheap. Like,
I know.
I bought myself a Cosmo subscription and it was like suspiciously cheap. Like I was like, there's no way a magazine's going to show up. And here I am showing up. So
yeah, I know. I was debating putting it under the 25 and under category, but then I was like, I don't know, maybe that's just Cosmo. Maybe there's more expensive magazines. But okay, sorry, I'm not going to take up too much time with my side rant, but my Cosmo subscription was the same, where it was extremely inexpensive. But when it came time to renew, it renewed so expensive. Oh. And I can't log into my account to cancel or change my subscription. Like, they just tell me my account does not exist.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, but it does. I receive emails from you guys. I'm clearly getting this subscription renewed.
It's weird.
So weird. So I'm now going into like my 3rd year of this Cosmo subscription.
Oh man.
Which is crazy. Fine. Like, I like it, but I'm like, this is not the price that I signed up for. Like, it was significantly more, and I can't even see what it'll be. Like, I think it renews in January. So I'm like, I don't know
We'll
what I'm in for,
see.
but yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. I have the opposite problem where I canceled a subscription to Toronto Life and I just keep getting magazines. I'm like, okay, keep sending them,
That's
I
funny.
guess. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Is it? I thought Toronto Life was like an annual membership, so maybe your membership hasn't expired yet or something.
it should have. It was
You're
like
like,
of
this was 5 years
September.
ago.
Yeah, it was September of 2 years ago or whatever. So then September came around
Interesting.
this year and I was like, oh, I won't renew. But now it's like I got the November issue and yeah. So we'll
That's so
see
funny.
how
My
long that goes.
neighbor, yeah, my neighbor gets Toronto Life magazine and it'll often get delivered to my house
Oh,
mistakenly.
okay.
This is so bad of me, but I'll bring it in, I'll take a look, and then I'll take
Yeah.
it back to her next door.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
like,
fine.
yeah, I kind of have one of those too.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I read it
Yeah.
every once in a while, but I was like, I don't think I need a subscription to Toronto Life. I'm not that like tapped into the
Yeah.
Toronto culture, but
Yeah.
you know,
I think
great.
this is the perfect transition actually into gifts $100 and under, because the first thing that came to mind for me is even more types of subscriptions.
Hmm.
So I think there's, well, last year, this is out of $100 range, but last year my sister and I split on a masterclass subscription, and I love that. I think masterclass goes on sale periodically, so maybe look
Yeah,
out for that to see what the price is like. But there's also like Audible. I know in the States there's Book of the Month. Tag, I know you did the Miss to Mrs.
yeah,
box for when you're like leading up to your wedding. So I think any of these types of subscriptions, again, tied to someone's interests or maybe to life moments that they have, like you were saying, Tag, I
yeah,
think all of these can be really personal and again, something that people might not buy themselves. But I also think it doesn't have to be for the full year. Like, for instance, when I was looking up Audible, you could get like a 3 month subscription or a six
yeah,
month subscription. So, again, this can it can be a really good gift without stretching your budget out of range if that's, yeah, too much for the full year.
yeah. One thing that I love buying for people is like experiences. And
Mm-hmm.
so whether it's like you're giving the gift of like, I don't know, I got my dad like axe throwing one year, got my brother an escape room, but I also really love concert tickets because we've talked before about how expensive concert tickets are nowadays. And so that can be really nice. And now, especially because Spotify artists now show their like concert dates. So it's like so much easier. You can go to like if the person has a public Spotify, you can see their playlists and literally click on the artist and be like, oh, okay, this person that they listen to is having a show in our city. So I'll get 2 tickets to that, which can be, it's just like easy. So I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of that.
Yeah. And I think like sporting events,
Hmm.
musicals, like literally any type of experience is definitely good. I feel like I always think that's a good idea, but then I'm like, oh, I also have to buy one for myself. So it's like if it's $100
Yeah.
ticket, it's actually $200 I'm spending, you
Yeah.
know? But anyways, that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, I think it's a good thing to like pool together, like getting your parents an experience, like you and your siblings going on it together. I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, what else did I have on the list here? I think this is something I put on my Christmas list this year, which is coffee table books. I feel like, again, there's so many different types of, well, me and the books, I guess I'm just going on the book train here, but there's so many different types of coffee table books, so many different themes where you can kind of personalize it to the person you're giving it to. For me, obviously, I like travel, fashion, home decor, but I even have like, I think it's called The Year of Cozy, and it's like a wellness book. All of these things I think are cute for someone's home for them to like leave out, but also can just give them like inspo and stuff. And honestly, coffee table books are really freaking expensive, especially if you get
Yeah.
into the fashion ones. So this can be a really great time to give or to get or to give them. Tegan actually got me a Schitt's Creek. What is that one? Best wishes and warmest regards.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, like I think that's, again, tied to interest. So I think that could be a good idea. Another thing I had is an advent calendar. And maybe this is a bad idea if you're giving it for Christmas and it's like, okay, what are we counting down to?
Right. Yeah.
But to me, advent calendars are like kind of expensive and at least they can be the ones that I'm talking
Yeah.
about gifting. So for instance, it could be like the Nespresso advent calendar, or like the really nice big beauty advent calendars from Sephora or the Body
Mhm.
Shop. There's the candle advent calendars with like all the Voluspa candles, or like a specialty tea and coffee advent calendar. So I don't know, maybe it's a bad idea to gift it, but I do think it's something very like festive and holiday. And even if they're not opening it like one a day through the month of
Mhm.
December, it's still like 24 little gifts that they're getting as part of this one gift. And then another thing I had in here, going back, I guess, to the home stuff for a second, is ceramic mixing bowls. This is like the adult in me coming out, but we gave my mom mixing bowls, and then I received mixing bowls maybe for a birthday one year. And it's just like, these are so practical. I feel like you can never have too many,
Mhm.
especially if you're someone who likes to bake and cook, and you can get like really nice ones. So I don't know. I think this could be a good gift. Maybe you bundle it with a cookbook or something. And then also in kind of the kitchen space, I was seeing all of these different mocktail sets online.
Mm.
And I think that is such a good idea because mocktails are only becoming more and more popular. So if you have someone in your life, I feel like it's kind of like a trendy gift to get them, but also
Yeah.
can be, quite practical and it's like useful. I don't know. So I thought that could be cute. If you want to make your own, it could just be like throwing in some non-alcoholic spirits into it, some bitters, dry fruits. Like, this is the kind of thing that I was seeing online to make your own. And then outside of home stuff, I had a satin PJ set under gifts, $100 and under. I think this can really range in price. They don't have to
Mhm.
be satin, like you could get like cotton PJ set for, I don't know, $30 or something. But again, it's just one of those, how can we take this and make it a little luxury for this person? Maybe it's like getting a matching, like maybe a cotton pajama set with a satin eye mask or something like that. I think PJs make such a great gift, and often you can find like bundles on sale this time of year. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And then I also had Missouri jewelry on here, however, specifically earrings and rings. They actually
Mhm.
have quite a few options under $100. They also had, I think, 1 to 3 bracelets under $100. So check that out. I think all the girlies are loving Missouri these days. So check it out. You can actually get some stuff $100 and under.
Yeah, definitely. I think the last thing I had on my list for this category was cologne or perfume samplers. I have a lot of people in my life who are like, I want a cologne, but I don't know what kind I like, or that kind of thing. So if someone's in that position, we have, I think they have this in the States as well. I've seen at some of their drugstores, but it's like you buy a sampler kit that comes with like 6 samples, and then it includes a coupon to redeem a full size. So that can be
Gotcha.
really good if you don't know what kind of scent the person would like, because obviously it's very personalized.
Hmm.
But if you do know the scent that they like, it can be really good to either like repurchase it for them, or to get like the matching scent in a different type of thing, whether it's like the lotion or the aftershave. And I always like, especially if it's like a luxury cologne or perfume, to buy directly from the company. Like my husband wears a Chanel cologne, so it's like I buy from Chanel, because then like comes in like the crazy packaging and it makes it feel like a very luxurious gift, which it is. Like it's pricey, but so that's something that I always try to do as well, as opposed to like Sephora.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Great. I think that was everything. As we
Yeah.
said, we're going to try and like link as much stuff as we can in our bio if possible. And I believe our plan is to do a Patreon post as well. And so definitely check out our Patreon. That's the best way that you can show your support to us. We don't have obviously ads on the episodes, as you can hear. And so everyone who subscribes, we really appreciate that. And you can subscribe for as little as $2 a month, and that gets you to see the episodes early and some other things there. So definitely check that out. We're also on social media at Our Golden 20s on pretty much all the platforms. We also have like a Pinterest board. So if you're not in the Christmas spirit, check that out because we've got lots of fun little Christmas pins up there. And we put out a new episode every Tuesday. So make sure you're subscribed and following us so that you see when those new episodes drop. That's everything for this week. Thanks for listening.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.